Hello chemistry students, and welcome back to Chapter 10. We're on section 10.3 on nitrogen. As we continue our discussion about important nonmetals, nitrogen may not be the most important, but it certainly is important for one very good reason. And that is nitrogen makes up approximately 78% of the air that we breathe. That's a good thing, because nitrogen is tasteless, colorless, odorless, and here's the key thing: it is very unreactive. It likes to triple bond to itself, so it doesn't need to bond with anything else. It's very hard to separate nitrogen from the way it is naturally found in the air. That's a good thing, because we breathe nitrogen in and out every single breath, and we don't even know. We know whether or not we're getting the oxygen, that 21% oxygen that's in the air, and then that other 1% trace element. We can kind of judge whether or not we are getting that. If you've ever breathed in the hot Florida air and it's 100% humidity, there's lots of water vapor in the air. You can tell that the air has a lot of water vapor in it, and not so much a lot of the other things. Here's a key term for you, and it's called diluent. What a word. Diluent. I had to look up how to say it, because we're used to saying dilutant, a diluting substance, but technically, chemically, it's called diluent. Very hard for me to say. But it dilutes oxygen. It makes it not as strong as it possibly could be. And of course, 100% oxygen in our atmosphere would be very dangerous. Uses of nitrogen. By far the biggest use of nitrogen is in nitrogen fertilizers. Nitrogen is the most essential element for a plant to have. So if nitrogen's not in the soil, plants aren't really going to grow all that well. So how does it get from the air to the ground? There's two different types of ways. The first one is nitrogen-fixing organisms. Some organisms literally eat the nitrogen out of the air, and then they excrete nitrates into the soil. So it's part of their biological cycle to have wastes that help plants. And that's a very good thing. There's also some organisms called denitrifying organisms that take nitrogen out of the ground. We don't like those so much. Lightning also permits nitrogen to react with oxygen, and it produces nitrates. So if you remember chemically, you have nitrate and nitrite. Nitrate is NO3, and nitrite is NO2, and those are found naturally reacting. Oh, my child's crying. That's sad. Those are found naturally reacting when lightning forms under a high amount of enthalpy. Those are formed in the soil. Common forms of nitrogen. Ammonia, NH3, is a colorless gas with a very irritating odor. Maybe you have seen this at like Walmart, the Great Value brand, of course. And it's produced very easily by combining hydrogen and nitrogen to create ammonia. It's a very effective cleaning agent, particularly for glass, and so it's in a lot of glass cleaners because it evaporates very quickly. It's very volatile. And so if you see that stuff that they spray on glass and then wipe down and it disappears, it's typically some sort of ammonia. Never mix ammonia with bleach. Some people, especially during this coronavirus epidemic, are mixing all the cleaning agents together to try and create some super cleaning agent. Just use one, because ammonia and bleach, when combined, create a gaseous form of chlorine, which can kill you. And so you actually have to evacuate your house, and it causes like burns on your skin and in your throat, all sorts of terrible things. Here's another form, nitrous oxide, NO2, also known as dinitrogen monoxide. It's called laughing gas. It is given to people who are having pain, particularly for things like dental surgery, and this laughing gas kind of takes the edge off of pain and makes people a little bit hysterical. That's why they call it laughing gas. But has very few side effects, and that's a good thing. Nitrogen dioxide, NO2, so note the difference. N2O is nitrous oxide. Nitrogen dioxide is NO2. It's a brown toxic gas used to produce sodium nitrate. And sodium nitrate is Na, NO3. Sodium and then nitrogen, or nitrate, of course. And sodium nitrate is useful because it's used as a meat preservative on hot dogs, bacon, and ham. And that's why hot dogs, bacon, and ham kind of have a brownish flavor, or color to it. And some of that's natural, but a lot of that is just the preservatives they use, particularly in hot dogs. Hot dogs are so preserved. Don't even worry about the expiration date. It could be a year past the expiration date. They're still okay. So, other common forms of nitrogen is nitric acid, HNO3. It is produced by the Ostwald process. It combines ammonia with oxygen to produce HNO3. Nitric acid is a very strong acid, and it decomposes in sunlight. So a lot of times if you take a look at nitric acid, that we have some in the lab, it is found stored inside of styrofoam to protect it from sunlight. And it can degrade back to NO2. So you have to be careful when using old batches, especially if it turns kind of a brownish color, because a lot of that may have gone back to nitrogen dioxide. So that's not good. Another one is nitroglycerin. Is very much so using nitrogen, and it's an unstable liquid used to make dynamite. I believe it was first invented by Germany, if I'm correct on that. They like to explode things, so that's all on nitrogen. Make sure you do section review 10.3, page 160. I'll see you guys later for the next video.